So today what I'm going to work on, I think, in this really, really hot weather. Man, I don't know what the temperature is today, but oh, 90 degrees. So I feel for you guys in Arizona, man. That's next level. 100, 120 degrees. That's crazy. I always see like a Deadbeat Garage complaining about the heat. Hasport, Brian complaining about the heat. And then here I am over here, 90 degree weather. I'm like, man, it's hot. So I get it. Anyway, I'm gonna be working in here today. I'm gonna get the the pedal set taken out, and then the new pedal set put in. It's over there. I'm gonna get it put in. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out. This is just one of the things I gotta do since I got the engine out and I have the engine bay wiped or washed down. I don't have to worry about that anymore. So just gonna start on the essential stuff on the inside of the car, like the pedal set to begin with. Homie next door has an S2000. Over there, I don't want to be a creeper and have my camera all out. Anyway, yeah, he's got an S2000, and we've never once said 3 words to each other. But I know that he looks at my house and he's like, man, this guy's got a Honda problem. And I look over there at his house and think, what a cool guy. Anyway, so I'm gonna remove some of the stuff out of the interior of this car because I run out of places to store things. So I just start putting stuff back in the car. New things that I buy, like I picked up this True Heart rear subframe brace on Marketplace. I'm always keeping my eye open for things like that. There's the new grill that I got for the front bumper, the front lip, and of course the dash that takes up the most of the room here. So now we have plenty of room to work in here, and here's my pedal set that I got from the salvage yard run. And I'm gonna go ahead and get that put in. So I found myself looking everywhere for a 14mm socket the other day. It's like, where is that socket? I love it. Having all these cars and working on all of them simultaneously. I leave tools in different cars and then I can't find them anymore. And then I get mad because I think somebody lost my tools when it was me pretty much the entire time. If you want to know a quick rundown on how to take this pedal set out, this is like the perfect way to show you. Hopefully your dash is out. If it's not, you can still get it out. It's not a big deal, but this is an easier way to show you kind of where the bolts are that you have to take out. This is an EX model, so if we start over here, this is your cruise control, and it has to be taken off. Your throttle cable, which connects back here, it has to be undone. And then you have a 14 here, a 14 here, 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 and here. And then you have a 14 that goes straight up here. And then you have a plug. You have to unplug right here underneath the dash. And then you have a pin for the brake. And you can just, there's normally a little wrist pin on there like this. You just push that out. And then you can take the pin out. And then it should be able to just, yeah, slide right out. Like so. Anyway, it's loose. You can get it out. Like that. And that's your automatic pedal assembly. It's really not difficult to get out, even if it's in the car. But with my dash being out, it's really easy to show you guys. So I'm going to put the other one in the reverse way. I did forget to mention one really, really important thing. If in your swap, you're wanting to keep cruise control, you have to keep in mind this pedal set has to come out of a cruise control car because it's got an extra arm right here, which you can see over here, that actually controls the cruise control. I don't really give a shit because your boy doesn't rely on cruise control all the time. It is a nice feature to have, and I might possibly add it in the future, but I'm not really too concerned about cruise control in this car because it's not really a daily driver. But anyways, if you want to keep that cruise control, you're going to need a pedal set out of a cruise car. Actually, you know what? I was looking here and I feel like I can just take the small brake pedal off of the new pedal set that I got and put it on the old pedal set that I have, and then I don't have to worry about that. And then when I'm ready for cruise control, the arm will be there. I think that's what I'm going to try to do. So I think I can take it off here and here and keep this spring, and then have the smaller pedal and not have to worry about all this. I'm gonna try that and then I'll let you know if that works. I'm pretty sure it's going to. And this is probably something that's pretty well known in the community, but I don't deal a lot with cruise control, power steering, and AC. So some of this stuff is gonna be new to me and I'm just gonna try it out. Yeah, that is confirmed that it works. And I'm sure this is no Honda hack or anything. I'm sure this has been the deal forever. But you just take this bolt out, this spring, on each side, and you can move it right over to here. Now you have the pedal assembly with this. I don't know how hard this bolt is probably to get out while it's in the car. It might be easy, I don't know. With it out of the car though, no problem at all. We got the pedal assembly in here, at least this part of it anyway. Remember to hook this up, your 4 bolts in the back, your 5th one right down here, and then the one that goes straight up. Hook all your throttle cable stuff in and you're all set on that. So now you got your clutch pedal over there, and you got to put that master cylinder in. And luckily Honda does use the same body for everything, so you will use all the stuff. You're gonna punch out the, yeah, see these little rubber grommets here? You'll take those out. As well as this big plug right here, so you can get the master cylinder in there. Like that. And let me wonder if you can, so there's no hole over here, but on it, I think you might want to hang on to this little guy because it could come in handy if you need a hole in your firewall and you want it to be pretty sealed up. So I'm gonna hang on to this one. So, but then you're gonna take this and you're gonna put it down in there because it's those little mounting screws that the pedal actually attaches to and sandwiches it up onto the firewall. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so I got it on there, through the hole, got these started. I'm a little concerned that I'm gonna regret putting this on before I get steel braided line for the clutch line, because I didn't get all of the hard lines for the clutch. I plan to just use steel braided. And I'm sure that's very much easier if you have those right now before you put it in the thing, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Got the clutch pedal in. It's just 2 bolts, one on each side, but it is kind of hard with one person because every time you try to push this on, it pushes the master cylinder out the back. So you got to reach up underneath here and grab the rod that comes through the firewall and just hold it up there and then screw it on. It's not a huge deal. It took me a minute to kind of figure out, but I got it. This is the clutch safety switch, and you have to rewire it. It actually, if I remember right, comes to this bundle of wires right here. So I'll have to do some research and find out what I need to do in order to make that not prevent the car from starting. And now we just need to put this guy back on here. I had to take it off so I could kind of figure it out how I was going to hold it. No big deal. And this goes here with these 2 10mm bolts. we're all super fortunate that Honda decided to use the same like chassis and wiring harness and all of that in all of their cars, because, or a good portion of the cars. I know there's some that are different, but it makes it a lot easier when you're swapping things out like this. The last thing I will say about the pedal swap and just using only the brake pedal on the old pedal set, I'm sure not getting the whole assembly will save a few dollars at the salvage yard. Wish I had known that. Moving on, I know eventually I want to put AC back in this car, so I'm going to take some time while it's easy to clean up some of the AC system, since I'm pretty sure it hasn't been done since 1999. I think that's a little dirty, so I'm gonna try to open this up and vacuum it out. Okay, so on this thing I got all the screws out. There's a few of them. They're all like right here on this side. If you flip it around, there's some. There's another one right here. A couple clips that look like this. Take those off. Then there's like this door right here that goes on this guy. And you take that off, and then it's feeling like it's pretty close to being able to, yeah, to open up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Looks like you got some sort of sensor there. Pull that off. Pull that side off. Yeah, man, this is super dirty. Okay. Now you're left with this part of the box, and I mean, I think we should be able to either suck this out or blow it out. That's what she said. Anyway, I'm gonna do that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Bro, look at this fucking bird, man. What up, man? Look at this bird. Oh my god. Look at the bird. So while I'm washing that stuff, man, this bird, it's the weirdest bird, man. He was right up here for most of the time, and then when I started power washing this stuff, now he's down here, and he just lets me get so close. I like petted him a minute ago. Weird. No. I think he wants to be on my YouTube video. I know. I'll let him stay. He's fine. Yeah, I got an open pen back there. There he goes. Weirdest bird ever. I've never had one that just would get that close to you and not really care. My next door neighbor has a dog, and the dog was like barking at it super close, and it just didn't even care. Fearless. Fearless. So this stuff all came pretty clean. Way cleaner than it was anyways. A lot of stuff came out of it, so it should be way more efficient when I hook up the AC stuff than it was. So I'm gonna put it all back together and I'll show you what it looks like. Got this thing back together. It looks pretty much new. I mean, it came out really, really clean. You could probably replace these seals here. There's probably a seal kit you can get to replace these here. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that right now. Because the way I put the dashes back in my car, it'll probably be pretty minimal. So if I need to replace those, it won't be a big deal to do that for me. But I'd say if you were going to try to do everything by the book, put everything back together the way it came out, then you don't want to take all that apart again. So I'd go ahead and buy the seal kit and do it before you put the stuff back in. But I can promise you, based on the amount of stuff that came out of this thing, it's going to be way more efficient whenever I get my AC charged and it's ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the heater blower motor, and we're going to pull that apart and see what kind of debris is in this, because if it's anything like the AC, it's going to be pretty full of crap. So there's just these little hooks that go around the whole thing. Got to pry those off, and then we should be able to separate this thing, I think. Yeah, here we go. And really not nearly as bad, but there's a lot of debris in there. We probably pull the port out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Kind of a lot of debris. And what I might do is just take the blower motor itself off, which you can replace these without actually taking the entire box out of the car. I've done it a couple times in the past, but it's just these 3 screws and you can get it out. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out so I can wash off the housing really good, and then I'll put it back together. Okay, so we got all these cleaned up. This was all black in here. I don't know if that was like a deteriorating like foam or something, but anyway, I got it all out of there, but I mean, we'll see. And then I know on one of my previous videos I said that this was the cabin air filter. Well, one of you guys so graciously told me that it is not the cabin air filter, and so anyway, that's not the cabin air filter apparently. This came pretty clean. This is what the heater blower motor looks like if you just replace the blower motor itself and you just stick it back up in there, and it works just fine. But I didn't wash this because I was curious. I don't want anything to be, I don't want to cause any problems with that, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Put all the stuff back together, put it in the car. Getting it all put back up in there. Got it all settled up in here. I mean, that looks way cleaner. Like I said, not the cabin air filter. Everything else is good. You know, everything goes back into its place. And I feel confident that that is going to be more efficient with the AC than it would have been before. So I think that while you have your dash out, that's probably the right thing to do, or a really beneficial thing to do, just so you have the best that you can get from your AC. If you have AC, which is like probably 10% of classic Honda owners. Next order of business is to track down and find out what all this extra wire stuff goes to. I assume maybe he had his door speakers wired directly into the radio, but you gotta wonder, if that's the case, why weren't the speakers working off the chassis harness? It shouldn't be very hard to track that down. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out. There is an RCA cable coming from the trunk that I am gonna leave, but all the extra wires, which there was a ton of them, I'm gonna go ahead and remove. All right, starting to look way better. All these wires here, I don't know, they're probably for an amp or something, but I'm gonna go ahead and remove them and just run. In my opinion, there should only really be RCA and remote coming from the back if it is an amp. Either way, underneath the dash is definitely starting to look better, and I'm pretty happy with that. So my next order of business is definitely to put the dash back in, and this is always more fun with two people, but as always, it's just me, and I will go ahead and put the dash back in and struggle and struggle and struggle. Okay, so last thing for me today, got the dash back in. And the only ones I'm putting back in are gonna be these two right there. Basically I do two, and then the center one. So there's two here that I haven't put back in yet, but I will. And then there's one on the outside here, and then one on the inside back there, if you can see it. And I mean, it's on there, and I feel like that's sufficient for the dash, and I know how many's in there, so next time I take it out it won't be a big deal. And with the 60-ish A mounts, there shouldn't be a whole lot of vibration, so it shouldn't make a big deal as far as the dash vibrating and things like that. So I went with a pretty mellow mount insert, obviously, so I think we'll be good. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up for the day, guys. That's a lot of work for me in one day. If you can, give me a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys put all the bolts back in your car. I mean, I guess maybe if you're building a show car or something, you'd want to get them all back in there. But me, I just kind of do what I feel like because it's my own stuff. So if I was working on somebody else's things or something of that nature, I would definitely put everything back in just how I took it out. But I like to make things simple because the likeliness of this being the last time I ever take the dash out is pretty low. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and I hope you have a good evening. Keep chasing those bills, guys.